Yo, what's good, you guys? Your boy Bill Mahari here, representing Mahari Nation Sports Podcast in the building today. Hope y'all having a good week thus far. Hope y'all had a good Memorial Day weekend, of course. Always chilling with your families and everything else like that. You know what I mean? But I wanted to talk about, last night with the Timberwolves, getting their butts kicked handily by the Mavericks the other night. So, basically, when the Timberwolves got the big victory in Game 4, they pretty much saved themselves from a sweep. Many fans were hopeful that this could be the start of a comeback, coming back from an 0-3 deficit to win a playoff series. And I always tell people, bro, it ain't happening in the NBA. It's too difficult to win 4 straight games against the same opponent in the playoffs. That's why I always say before, you can't put yourself in that position to go down 0-3 and then assume that you're going to come back. So, when I was watching the game last night, the Timberwolves felt like they were just content of not getting swept because early on in the game, they were coming back at least to tie the ball game around 18. But then in the last 5 minutes of the first quarter, they went on the Mavericks went on a 17-1 run that pretty much put themselves up by double digits. And then after that, Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving put their foot on the gas pedal, and they did not let them squeeze. Luka had 20 points in the first quarter, and I said to myself, yeah, this game's over. This game's pretty much over with, because when Luka scores 20 or more, the Mavericks are typically unbeatable. And so they combined once again to score for 60 plus points again in the game. So, and literally the Timberwolves just felt deflated. It felt like the entire run of these playoffs had finally catched up with them. And literally, as I was watching the game, the body language was bad. They weren't playing no defense. They pretty much let the Mavericks do whatever they want offensively. And it was embarrassing to watch. I felt bad for those fans in the Target Center that paid extra money to watch that embarrassing performance. So, looking at the game, there's a lot of things that the Wolves need to basically fix upon. Number one, literally, they have to establish a better offensive system that's going to get them guaranteed buckets. There were times throughout the playoffs, even when they were kicking the ass against the Suns, when they were coming back against the Denver Nuggets, that there was a lot of disorganization on the offensive end. And maybe it has something to do with the coaching. I don't want people to say, we want to fire Chris Finch and everybody else. No, that's not going to happen. You can't just fire a coach after one bad performance. It doesn't work that way. That means you're just thinking emotionally. And I don't think like that. I look at how you perform entirely. And this is their best season they ever had since 2004, if you really think about it. Now, there are going to be I would hope there would be some changes that could probably tweak some things and make the roster better. But the one thing that I'm going to be focusing on is the ownership situation. Because if Glenn Taylor is able to maintain control of the team, we know in Minnesota how much of a cheapskate he is. He is not going to, re-sign, many of his players. You know what I mean? He's not one of those guys that's able to do that. So, you better hope that Glenn Taylor does not re-own the team. And now, Alex Rodriguez and Mark Lowry, there are aggressive owners that want to keep everything together. But if we're going to be honest with you, they're pretty poor ship owners. So, they're going to have to really work hard to basically, raise the money and raise the investments to really make the moves necessary to help keep rebuilding this franchise into a championship contending team. So, a lot of storylines are going to have to be decided during the summer. But I just want to personally say congratulations to the Dallas Mavericks. Very worthy opponent. Basically, they beat down on the Clippers, upset at the Thunder, and then they basically physically and mentally beat down the Minnesota Timberwolves to reach the NBA Finals for the first time since 2011, when Dirk Nowitzki had that magical run to his first championship. So, this is going to be an interesting series between the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics. There's going to be a lot of storylines around it. Luka's first NBA Finals appearance, Kyrie Irving facing against his old, Celtic teammates, and basically how everything ended out in Boston. I'm going to tell you something. It's going to be very intriguing. And if the Mavericks can find a way to beat the Celtics, especially in Boston, woo! That will be the ultimate revenge for Kyrie Irving. The ultimate revenge. We all know how much Kyrie despises Boston. We all know that. So, but I will say this though too, for all the Minnesota sports fans, we had a great run throughout these playoffs, and we succeeded beyond expectations. But we have to continue to get better, and we have to continue building if we're gonna have an opportunity to compete basically in the loaded Western Conference, because right now, as we're looking at it, the Western Conference minus the Lakers, because the Lakers are trash. Right now, the conference is very much loaded with so much talent right now, and there's going to be a lot of question marks for certain teams of how they're going to basically rebuild themselves, how they're going to retool, how the landscape is going to pretty much, either alternate or change. So, but it is what it is, though. But congratulations to the Dallas Mavericks again, reaching the NBA Finals, and great run for the Timberwolves and throughout these playoffs. But pretty much it was supposed to be inevitable last night of how they played, and they just got their butts kicked in the worst way possible. So, but it is what it is. Oh, but also later on today, I'm going to go into my thoughts about more of the Ryan Garcia situation and how Garcia's team is trying to play more of the protection mode campaign to try to protect his name. Prepare for that video coming in later on today. So, but it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. With that, I'm out. Peace.